Now the BMW M3 is definitely a powerful car. It is not for the light-hearted, it's not for the faint-hearted. If you've just got your driver's license, this is not a car I would recommend for you. But if you know what you're doing, it's time for fun. With all the technology in the car, I've got to say there's just a couple of things that I don't like. Now, bear in mind, this is German technology, this is state of the art, this is a BMW. With all the electrics that are going on, I still have to adjust the steering wheel manually, which is a bit annoying. That it almost cheapens the car. Why? Why is it not electric like some of the lower model cars these days? The steering, the seating has, you know, it's almost fully electrical. It will go any way, except for one small piece. I have to put my hand down here, release the front, and then this thing moves in and out. I don't know why BMW have done it. In fact, I'll ask BMW, why did you do it? You're making an expensive car seem cheap. Driving down this, the Corniche of Ajman here, the car certainly belongs here. We've got the nice new property being developed overlooking the beach and the sea, and it's turning heads, and this car is doing exactly the same thing. But this car is more than just about the look. Without doubt, it has that sex appeal from a man's point of view, of course, but it's all about power. This is a BMW, this is an M3. This is one of the most powerful cars that you can get your hands on. I've got to say, I found it strange driving a car that could perform this well and yet only have an automatic gearbox. I've said it before, if you're going to be serious about a car, if you want the real driving experience, it's got to be a manual. However, this automatic was a little bit different. Yes, it was Triptronic or Steptronic, depending on what you want to call it, and it means that you can change gears from behind the steering wheel with those paddly things, but the gearbox was also fully electronic. Now what that means is that when you engage your various gears, it doesn't actually click into place. Everything happens electronically. But for me, that just means something else that can potentially go wrong. But this is a BMW M3. It's known for the power, the ferociousness of the car. What am I doing just pottering away on these small roads? What I need to do is take it somewhere that I can have serious fun. And that's exactly what I did. I took permission and I found a piece of land that I was able to really test the car.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you? You drive like a hooligan.
Listen, when you test a car, you've got to test it to the full potential. You've got to see what it can do.
Well, I just think you're a typical male who only cares about power and speed. I had the chance to test drive a car that, like in gear, hasn't been around for a while. Fiat hasn't had an official importer for the past 5 years. There are many small cars that are there in today's UAE market. We have brands from Nissan, Honda, Daihatsu, and the very popular Mini Cooper. But there's a new player in the market. This is the new Fiat 500. My first impression of this car is that it seems to be a mashup of several different types of cars. For one thing, if you stand in front of it, it looks like a Santro. If you're at where I am at this point of time, it looks like a Santro mixed up with a Tida. And from the back, it looks exactly like a Mini Cooper. But that isn't what concerns me. What concerns me is that I stand over 6 feet 1 inches in my heels. Am I going to be able to fit in this thing? Let's find out. Well, actually, this car is a lot more spacious than what it looks like from the outside. There are a lot of interesting designs in here. You have obviously a yellow and black design, But what's most striking to me is that it has a very sporty feel to it. This is the full options model. It has everything from a sunroof to leather seats to a 6 CD changer. And my personal favorite is that it has a road safety mechanism to it as well. It has Bluetooth, so I can connect my phone and speak hands-free. Now everything about this car seems a bit sluggish when you start it. For some reason, I don't really know what's going on with this gearbox. I'm not a car expert, but I can assure you that the whole process of starting and driving the car is a bit slow. The accelerator, for instance, you really need to put your foot down on the gas pedal to move it, to get it moving, and that's a bit difficult, especially when you're at a signal and you're trying to just go forward. You need to really press your foot to the pedal in order to get this car moving. Having said that, this car, once it does pick up, is extremely powerful. It really feels like you're driving a very powerful car, and that part of it is really okay. Luckily, the braking system on this car is really good, so when it does pick up speed, and if you really need to brake, you can do that without actually having much trouble. I don't know whether it's because this is a brand new car on the roads of Dubai, or if it's because this car is a bright yellow, but everybody's looking. The interior is very stylishly yet simply designed. If you'd look at the panel across right in front of me, I see a very simple layout, very easy to understand layout as well, which is what I would expect from such a car. Something else I like about this car, and I think this will actually be my favorite feature about the interior, is the sunroof. There is a net that you draw up right across the sunroof, and as a result of it, light filters through without allowing the heat inside the car. So even though I'm driving in the afternoon, I don't feel hot at all. It's really comfortable. I've got to say, there's not a lot of room at the back, but having said that, this would be a very practical car for a mom to take her kids to school in or to go shopping in. The question I asked at the beginning was, would this car fit in the roads of the UAE? I think it would. I think it would fit very well, and I think it would also give the competitors a run for their money. So watch out, Dubai. The Fiat 500 is here. Now that's how you test a car.
Okay, point taken. Listen, you were mentioning the gearbox. What's wrong with it?
Well, I found it really sluggish and difficult to change gears with, so it seemed very slow and uncomfortable.
Well, actually, I can put a little bit of insight into that. National Autos, who are the importers for the UAE, have told me that in the future, production of the gearbox is going to go to a North American plant, which means the gearbox will be an American spec gearbox. So, apart from that?
Apart from that, it's fun and it's very spacious as well.
Okay, it's now time for a quick break, but don't go away. Remember, we've still got that Virgin Radio legend